Hello dear friends, this video will be an attempt to see the Ukraine situation in the light of the prophecies and then a few viewer questions. And as far as the other hot topic of love and intimacy, which I casually touched upon in one video, that seemed to light up fireworks. Seems to be a pivotal area of interest. So probably the next video will be practicals of intimate tantra. So, although for different reasons, most people seem to be quite hooked up energetically to the Ukraine drama. And as usual, even those who believe the alternative sources may find unconsciously actually helping the flow of things the way parasites want it. And that's the main thing I want to point to you. So, the first category of people which are caught into the most stupid theater of passionately trying to figure out which of the two sides is more guilty. I feel such people are pointless to address even, not because necessarily both sides are equally guilty, but because in the current historic moment they should be more mature to understand that their precious human energy should be pointed towards eradicating the parasitic cancer instead of endlessly trying to dissect how exactly are they gonna cruelly kill people. No, they are not killing people in larger numbers nor in a more cruel way now with the war. The number of the casualties of the parasitic cancer have been escalating steadily during the last 1000 years, and especially during the last few decades, mostly with so-called medicine, which is very cruel, because at least the people who die swiftly, at least they don't suffer, but most of the victims of the so-called medical treatments in the hospitals, they stay alive, and it's usually a lifelong torture with the inflicted damages. So when I'm calling not to concentrate so much in Ukraine, this is not a call to ignore the cruel deaths there, but to look at the broader picture where much more death and torture is occurring for a much longer period. And Ukraine seems to be mostly a distraction. Probably if there would be one main reason for the timing of the organized Ukraine thing, is to create bloody drama so that people don't think much why their relatives and friends are dying or getting sick by the bloodthirsty blood, something in the blood. Too many people have been devoured by the Ukraine drama and devote hours per day trying to dissect the exact government lies. And then there is this karmic trap that, yes, disasters happen in life to us and other people, but currently the horrors in Ukraine, they're basically a problem which the local people have to deal with. We have to be compassionate and informed, but it doesn't mean that we have to immerse ourselves in that karmic situation to the point that it will color our psyche, because then we will create such situations for ourselves as well. So in practical terms, since the Ukraine war started, the cruel victims of the parasites, they're not more. It is just a bit a different, more showy way that they are killing people. As far as numbers, the war victims cannot compare even to 1% of the hospital victims, which, by the way, are in much more pain even than the Ukraine victims. So there is no change in the actual suffering. However, this heaviness in the heart of millions who get caught up in the drama for no matter what reason, that is the big thing that will make a change. And the change will be that in the upcoming months and surely years, there will be much more victims. So there is a very fine line between having compassion and sending positive energy, which you have to generate with meditation, for which you have to be peaceful and balanced, not sad. And on the other side of the line, becoming a part of that problem and thus multiplying it. Now, another facet of the situation. There are lots of people, especially those who are friends with alcohol, who prefer simple explanations for everything, and many of them went for this, oh, the fix is the mark of the beast, basically putting an equation mark, and not having enough time to listen to all the details in the prophecies of some fine aspects of the mark. So these people who were saying, oh, the fix is simply the mark, now the fix is in the background. So what, the entire story with the marking finished? Now these people will start saying, oh, you see, they were saying about the marking and now that's over, nothing happened, nothing happened. And they lose faith in the prophecies, and it's all more and more confusion. The more they go astray from the prophecies, the more they get confused. And confused mind is a devil's workshop, even for people who would have been more or less on the right path. This is a typical illustration, and the lady, she felt what's going on. Her energy, probably not the soul, have been harvested during the period of grief and guilt, to the point that she is even questioning if there is a point fighting for her soul. How can there be no point in fighting for one's soul? This is really a strange idea, especially while we have a human body. If you were that bad as you think you could be, you wouldn't even get a human body. Actually, simply by understanding what went wrong with the dogs and all the other things you blame yourself for, that itself will wash off lots of sins. Maybe some of them not completely, maybe there could be some punishment. You can see about that in the video about the Judgment Day. But still, with or without punishment, when you learn lots of lessons like this, just by understanding what was the mistake, and when you really understand, you don't repeat it, you will graduate. If you want to try to see your past lives, there are many of these pre-recorded past life regressions. If you are good in meditation, try with one of them, and it seems many people, if the first time they try this type of pre-recorded things, if you manage to go into trance the very first time you try it, it's usually a time of more chances for success. If that doesn't work, you can try with Peter Petrov. You can find his contacts in the older videos. He does online, and he's good. He's really good, and he doesn't charge foreigners more than locals, so it will be way cheaper if you're in the West to do it over Skype with him. Or maybe some of his disciples, that could be even cheaper if money is an issue. But also I can say from experience that whatever things are supposed to be hidden from you at this point, no matter how good the regressionist is and how well you do the meditation, they will remain hidden. That's how it works. Like when I had the first vision of that when I was 20 something, I was really interested because of this, especially the Egyptian thread of things, and later on I tried to find out more, but everything until now is almost completely blocked, very little information. I got a bit of sparks of knowledge of what was that all about, but as I start getting them, I also understood why earlier it was blocked. Because if I knew who I was, why did I fall down, then of course I would know what to do in the current situations. But the point was that when I was like really in unknown murky waters without enough information, still I somehow managed to make the right choices, at least for certain things. And to the extent I managed to do that and take the right decisions in situations in this life, then corresponding to that, things started opening. Now, how the initial vision occurred, I don't know if it is in my autobiography, which anybody can get for free. It's for those who watch many videos of mine. That was when I befriended the jeweler's family, and they gave me one very good natural blue sapphire, and I stuck it to my arm with leucoplast, this for wounds. It was very casual. They just said, the blue sapphire is the strongest stone out of all. Do you want to try one? And I said yes, and I put it on me. And I believe the vision occurred on the same day or the next one. I had it for a couple of days. And no, I did not even expect anything like that, although my Saturn is in the 12th house according to Jyotish, and that's the house of mysticism. But the vision occurred in broad daylight when I was simply spacing out on the roof garden, nothing special. But later on, when I got into crystals very seriously, that is just recently, and I try to get such things, visions, just with crystals. I have not had any success. I cannot, for example, gaze in a crystal sphere and see things. It does not work for me yet. But for the people for whom it really works, it is mostly them. Or at least it is so from our perspective, because probably the people who can see the things in the crystal sphere on Earth would be no more than 10 currently, while millions can see the same crystal sphere and have no experience. Crystals are helping me a lot, really a lot, but not with visions currently. I wear my helmet pretty much 24/7 since more than a year now, a crystal helmet, and if I take it off immediately, my health starts deteriorating. So whatever other people achieve by going to hospital and having all kinds of things drip into their blood or be switched to some sort of trunk respirators or being injected with stuff all the time, I achieve that just by wearing a helmet. Question: how can I help my two little boys of age 5 and 3? On superficial level, only one can say it will be more difficult with children. But actually, in higher perspective, it is not like this. Like, for example, many cats think that if I just get rid of all the competition around and I remain the only cat here of my owner or my neighborhood, I will be getting the cat food and the chicken of all these other cats. That's because they don't understand karma. They don't understand that when it's two of them, I serve double. So those who are wise and they see the actual situation, it's not that poor helpless children, they will be easy victims of the difficult situation. No, all the situations arise from the consciousness of the participants to start with, and of course God will take extra care for the children. In the Jane Roberts books, there is a lot about the karma of the children, which we don't understand. For example, some people say, oh, you see, a completely innocent child died. How pity he did not get any chance. This is all polluted with Freudian nonsense. Actually, this soul, he wanted to experience only the beginning of human life, and it was all decided beforehand. There are no innocent victims of situations. This entire trap of Darwinian Freudian thinking has countless traps. Like, for example, some people are afraid that too many animal species disappear, they're lost forever. No, not a single one is lost ever. God and the engineers of our planet, they keep the divine patterns, the seeds from which the actual species can manifest, and when the time when they will be again comfortable on Earth, they will all appear. And while they use emotional blackmail to channel people's attention where they want to, at the background they're working on what is important for them. They're now openly admitting the creation of Global Financial Stability Board, which will be a global financial regulator. In simple words, every single financial transaction, even a simple bank transfer or a purchase with a card in the shop, will have to be approved by the central, as they say in the prophecy, big beastly machine, coordinated all from the chamber of hell. So get sure you have purchased everything you need instead of giving all your energy to the Ukraine drama, because if you are prepared when your place turns to Ukraine, at least you will be able to do something practical and help the people around you. Because the feeling of helplessness over the Ukraine drama will not help practically anybody at all. I myself put my energy currently into trying to make a chicken enclosure, and by the time I was procuring mesh for the project, this thing with Ukraine and stuff, and yesterday I went to buy the metal bars for the structure. The shop said, well, we don't sell currently because we're making the new price list, and they're waiting to see how the war goes and figure out will they multiply the prices by 5 or 10 or 20. And meanwhile they sell nothing. So my call is to turn towards things which actually help, like meditation and practical preparation, instead of getting entangled in the mesh of their theatrical edifices.